Hi, I'm Jason Myers, a technical writer at Influx Data.
And I'm Scott Anderson, a tech lead on the product team at Influx Data.
Today we're going to talk about the Flux data structure. So Scott, I see you've got something written here. Would you like to give us an overview of what we've got going on?
Absolutely. You know, to understand the Flux data structure, I think it's important to look at it from a high level. And whenever you're writing a Flux script or using a Flux script, understand that it essentially represents a data pipeline. And inside of that data pipeline, you have what we call a stream of tables. A stream of tables is a collection of 0, 1, or many tables.
Many tables. Okay, so if I'm coming from a traditional relational database structure or database model, I'm only thinking in terms of one table. What's the deal with multiple tables?
You know, it's a great question. It's one we get really, really often. So Flux is designed for time series data, which is inherently streaming data, or also what we call unbounded data. There's no beginning and no end.
Okay.
So to break up the stream use model, the typical model used to process streaming data, Flux generates a single stream of tables grouped into logical sets, really similar to SQL partitions.
Okay, so can you tell me maybe a little bit about how these tables are structured?
Sure. So all tables in a stream of tables are structured by a group key. A group key is a list of columns for which all rows in any given table have the same value for those columns. When you query data from InfluxDB, by default, it returns data grouped by series, which is a common measurement, common tag set, and common field key. So in our group key, we have our measurement column, which I've abbreviated just for the sake of space. We have our city tag, our country tag, and then our field column identifying the field that we've queried. So each of these tables represents a set of temperatures from given locations, unique combinations of city and country. So for every unique combination of our group key, we will get a separate table in our stream of tables.
Oh, okay, excellent. So these are grouped by city. What if I want to regroup these and I want to look at the average temperature on a country basis? Can I do that?
Absolutely. So you bring up a really good point. One thing to understand when you operate on a stream of tables, and let's say you run the stream of tables through a mean function. You want the average value of this stream of tables. Rather than giving you an average for the stream as a whole, what that mean function will do is operate on a table level. So it will return an average for each individual input table. So to change how tables are grouped and change the result that you would get back, you actually need to modify the group key. So you're right, this is returning data grouped by city and country. And if we want to get an average of just country, we need to group by country. So there's a couple of ways to do that. Probably the most common way is to use the group function. You can pipe forward this stream of data into the group function where you redefine the group key. We're essentially saying we only want to group by our country column. So when this stream of data is piped into our group function and we define the group key as country, we essentially remove these columns from the group key. These tables are restructured so that all rows with common country values are in the same table. So we'll have one table for the UK, and then these two tables, which are both US-based, will be merged into a single table. You can then generate averages or counts or whatever type of aggregation you need for that grouping of data.
That's awesome. That's really handy. And I can do all this with adding a single line into the script that I've already written.
Absolutely.
Just add the group function and then it does it for me automatically.
Yeah, and group is only one way to do that. Group redefines the group key, but let's say you want to aggregate based on time-based windows. You can use the window function to group your data into time-based windows and then generate aggregate values for each of those time windows.
But I have one other question here. So I see in our column labels that some of them have the little underscore. Can you tell me what's going on with that?
Sure. You know, functionally, they don't necessarily make a difference. So for example, many functions in the Flux standard library operate specifically on the underscore time column or the underscore value column. So it doesn't really change the way that functions work. It's just, those are some important column names that Flux just assumes.
Okay. That was really great. I appreciate it, Scott. Hopefully that was helpful and useful for you. We can't wait to see what you build.